off the DraftKings NBA Live Final, and our team crushed, placing 4 teams in the top 10. The Run Pure logo was popping in the leaderboard. Run Pure members and employees were arm in arm on this year's leaderboard. JSU led the group with 2 top 10 lineups, finishing in both 6th and 9th place, hauling in over $225K. BigT took 10th place for $67K. Run Pure member and contributor Record 62 rounded out the top 10, finishing in 8th place for $100K. Congrats to RPS member Eden Cohen for also taking home over $17K in the tournament. Our NBA team has been on fire, and you can catch them for free over on our YouTube channel. Just make sure you head on over, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss when they go live. And you can check out BigT and Stevie on our free NCAA show Thursday through Sunday morning every day this week. Also, sign up today for a premium subscription to Run Pure Sports and take advantage of our promo for a limited time only. Use the promo code PLAYERS33. You can knock 33% off your first payment on a Run Pure subscription. That includes SaberSim plans to take advantage of this great deal to access premium videos, core plays, and projections from the top DFS players in the industry. Thanks again, guys, and make sure you head on over to Run Pure Sports today and take advantage of our great promo before it expires. Find out why all of our members are crushing NBA and PGA by accessing our premium content.
Hey, it's a special free show here on Run Pure Sports. We're going to have some basketball for you. And we've got JSU live at Casa de Tondog. We've got K Fallick in his own house. And before, and I'm holding, by the way, what's up? Before we get into today's show, we're going to act like this is the Up to Lock show, which is usually a premium show where we take your questions, a ton of your questions. We're going to be answering our subscriber questions. If we get a minute or two to answer any of your questions, we will do that. But we're putting this on for free. New promo for Run Pure Sports, by the way. If you're interested in getting in, Players 33, PLAYERS 33, get you 33% off your first payment with a subscription to Run Pure Sports. SaberSim package is included in this offer. So we've got a lot going on. March Madness is here tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern. Tony, Stevie Boynton, myself, we're breaking down the college hoop slate for the opening of March Madness. And now, without further ado, let's go say hello to our panelists. K Fallick, JSU is doing something over there. I'd like to go to you first then. Hello, big guy. It's wonderful to see you.
What's going on, Holden? First of all, let's avoid asking for likes every 5 seconds and just hit the button so we can actually get through this slate tonight. This is my first free show for the Up to Lock on the free side of YouTube. So just hit the like button and let's move on. It's great to see Tony here. It says Tony on our screen for the Zoom, so I'm just going to call him Tony. But JSU, good to see you after being with you for about 18 hours on Friday. I enjoyed it. Hope you had a nice drive and your family got home safely. And congratulations on yet another hit ball. I haven't seen you since then.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, it feels good. I've got the knee house. Like I got the YouTube chat up, but I'm Tony right now. So like if you see Big T type, that is me typing right now, just so people know. I was thinking about just trolling everyone in chat being Big T. And then I was like, nah, that's mean because he's letting me use his nice setup over here. I would have been on my small laptop. So yeah, it's nice to be in. I will say though, like everything's set so far back. Like this is definitely set up for Big T. This is not set up for a person of my stature and height in here. But I'm gonna do my best to pick some winners tonight. It was great seeing Fallick at the live final. I'm very bummed that neither of you will be joining us at Casa de Knee House, but it's okay because I get to see your ugly mugs on this show, and I can't wait to talk some NBA winners with you guys.
What a sweetheart. What an absolute sweetheart. K Fallick talked about the formatics of this show where he didn't want to ask for likes every 5 seconds. It almost makes me want to do so, but I'm not going to, K Fallick. We're just going to let it roll. Whatever number we get to, I'll say it once toward the end, and that'll be that. Okay. It's going to be absolutely Amazing. Sean Hunter in the free chat. Big T says play all the white dudes. That is incorrect. I think that you are making fun, which is actually accurate. Only play the foreign white guys. We don't play the American players. They're just not good. Okay, let's get into this slate. We got a shorter show today. We're going to get off just after lock 2, but we'll get to your questions in a little bit. And normally what I do on the Up to Lock show is ask JSU first, what games are you crossing off? But before I do that, JSU, the subscribers, you guys will have these guys' cores. You'll have all their cores before tip-off. You should know that already. JSU, can you real quick tell the non-members out there, I don't like calling them freeloaders anymore, the non-members out there, what they're missing out on as far as the cores in the playbook?
Yeah, and just so people know, we did had to adjust the seat, all right, because I'm not Big T, so I had to lift the seat up a little bit, okay? It's not a booster, but the chair that I'm in, it's still Big T's chair, all right? It had to be lifted up a little bit.
Looks like a throne. It looks like
I mean, seriously, I feel this is not like this is comfort right here. This is when you win $1 million, you get a setup like this. I still, have just a okay setup in my house. Big T's got the real setup right here. 3 monitors, the chair is comfy. He's got the mic too, the nice mic. Like, God, what it must be like to be Big T every day. I don't know. One day I'll know. But for those that aren't subscribed, I mean, core plays pretty much just are, top plays for tournaments. We obviously have a cash chart as well that like Hoop, Mangone, and Title will work on for FanDuel, DK, all those sites, and get you the cash cores by position, and they'll highlight their favorite couple plays for cash. But for the core plays specifically, when you go on the core plays page, you got normally me, Big T, AP, and then we rotate one other guy. Some days K Falix on there, Glock, all the other guys, Title, all the other guys that we have for tournament cores. And so you'll see those guys on like our main lineup. So for instance, like if I run one lineup and I've got my 5 dudes in my core, like those are the 5 guys that'll be in that lineup. If I run like 3 or 4 lineups, there'll be guys that I'm overweight on. I will have a main lineup with all of them in it, but then there'll be also guys that I am heavier on in my 3 or 4 lineups. So that's how I kind of build out my core plays. It's the guys I'm the highest on that I'm going to have the most exposure to and are all in my main team. So that's how I go about it. And I'm pretty sure these other guys are the same way as well.
Yeah. Tony has his cores. AP has his core. Other analysts are throwing their cores in, like K Fallic. If you've never heard of K Fallic and you're not a subscriber, he's just got a lot more money than you do. And we'll leave it at that. So here's how we started, JSU. Overall thoughts on the slate. What games can we just cross off and not even bother with playing guys from those games?
Yeah, well, so this slate is a really fun slate, in my opinion. You've got so many studs on this slate, and honestly, a lot of them are just really good plays. So you're going to have to make some really, really tough calls, in my opinion, when it comes to these guys at the top. Now, can we take some games off? Absolutely. It's a 12-game slate, but I think it's more a point to talk about these studs. I'll give you a few games just real quick. I don't want nothing to do with Portland, New York. Portland's getting Justice Winslow back. He's on a minutes limit, but the prices have adjusted on all of those Portland guys. It's not like a few weeks ago where you're getting them at a cheap price tag and there was so few guys. Now the prices have adjusted to where I'm good with fading Portland, and New York's the same way to me. I just on this big slate, I'm not going to have any exposure to that game, those teams. Boston, Golden State, another game on this slate. No, thank you. Two solid teams. Boston's been playing elite defense. Golden State, Draymond's back. So that defense, that team is going to be playing at a much better pace and defense as well. So no, thank you for that game as well. And then just kind of looking at it, I mean, depending on news, like if Embiid plays, I might fade the Philly-Cleveland game as well. But if Embiid doesn't play, then James Harden is way too cheap. So this is where we got to kind of wait on news. Luckily, it's a 7:00 game, so we're going to get that news. He's a game time decision right now. if Embiid doesn't play, I'm going to have interest. All right. I'm giving you guys that right now. So you don't have to ask when it happens. If Embiid doesn't play, I have interest in Maxey, Harden, Tobias Harris. I have interest in those kind of guys. If Embiid does play, I'm probably going to fade the game. Even Evan Mobley, who I've been really high on, and I've been playing the last like 3 or 4 slates. The dude's just been absolutely crushing. But even him, I'm probably going to stay off of in the Cleveland side. Outside of that, like we have some really, really good games. LA, Minnesota, I might not have any of as well. I just think LA's been awful. Like I really just, they've been getting blown out. Like this game, Minnesota's good. People are going to realize it soon if they don't already, but LA is just bad. And there's other good games on this slate. Like Keith Alex looking at me sideways right now, but I don't know. I just don't like LA. I think they're going to get their asses kicked again for a third straight night.
So here, can I say the reason? So I'm not very interested in these first games, to be honest, because I think that we're waiting on some key news.
You're not interested in these first games?
We're waiting on some key news, specifically with Minnesota. They will go down to an 8-man rotation or even possibly a 7-man rotation if all these guys that are questionable are out, which we don't know if they will be. OKC with the SGA news is very critical. The only thing that will interest me in these first games specifically is if Embiid is out, and then I think you can play a piece or two of the Atlanta-Charlotte game to get but I would only be hammering the value pieces personally. Mason Plumlee, Danilo Gallinari, those pieces. I know Trae Young is playing at an elite level right now, and it's hard to fade that game, but it's a tough spot with what is to come potentially with news. Like the Brooklyn-Dallas game, I think that normally would have a lot of interest in Brooklyn, and I'm sure you do, JSU, but my issue with it is I think that they're paced down, and the only guy in the lineup that Dallas is putting out tonight, I think, is going to be competitive against Brooklyn, with DFS playing 40-plus minutes guarding KD, which could be a challenge for him nonetheless, but I also could see it being a tougher game that's a little slower paced than what Brooklyn really wants to do.
I disagree with you a lot on the Atlanta-Charlotte game.
I like the game. Don't get me wrong.
I think there's some elite plays in that game that aren't value plays. I think Miles Bridges is a really, really strong tournament play that no one's going to play. He gets Danilo Gallinari, who cannot stop him. He's crushed this matchup multiple times already. Like, this is a bad matchup.
No, Gallinari is going to be guarded by PJ Washington.
This is a bad matchup because if you put DeAndre Hunter, he's just too strong. They can't stop. I'm telling you right now, Terry Rozier, Miles Bridges, 2 very good tournament plays tonight. Trae Young is a very good tournament play. I think this game is a very good 7 o'clock game. And then you've got Jokic against one of the worst defensive teams in the league. I'll tell you right now, these are some teams that you guys can just Washington, San Antonio, Houston, especially when it comes to big men. Those are 3 teams you want to pick on right now.
Washington, San Antonio, and who? JSU dropped out.
Washington, San Antonio, and Houston, especially against against any big, actually. They got murdered by Zubac twice. Dwight Powell put a 50 burger on them. This has been something I've been doing for a while now.
I agree with you.
So my point is, though, Jokic is going to probably have, I think he's going to crush this matchup. I think he is probably my number 1 stud on the slate right now. I think he's my favorite slate stud right now. It could change if Embiid comes out because then Harden is too cheap. But for right now, Jokic is my number 1 pay up on this slate. And I think there's some other decent tournament plays, especially if there's not great value. Like I think
the challenge that I'm facing is we're starving for value. Like,
well, here's Bones. Bones is 4-2. His minutes have gone up. This is a tournament play. This is not a cash play. But I think Bones is going to come in at real low ownership. No one's going to play him, but he's been playing really, really good. It looks like Jokic likes playing with him. And if there's not great value, he might be one of the better tournament values with upside.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
And it's
I
going to
like that
lock
call.
at 7. So I don't think people are going to hammer these 7 o'clock games waiting on news. And I think you've got 2 really good games. The only way, K-Fallic, is if Embiid gets ruled out. Then Philly becomes chalky.
I don't see him sitting out.
I don't either, but
I don't, and forget about the birthday narrative and all that garbage. I just don't see him sitting out tonight. He's going to be out there. We got some guy in the chat saying he's already warming up. One of the Sixers beat reporters said not yet, but that was 20 minutes ago. We'll see if he's out there. He's usually the last to warm up, so just know that. And we are getting some news, so stick here with us. And that's the other thing about the Up to Lock show. We get you all the news that you need, breaking news. We're going to throw it out there right at you. So we just got a whole bunch of game time decisions here with Pat Bev, Vanderbilt, Naz Reid, Jordan McLaughlin.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, people are going to have to wait on that news. We're not going to get it until after this slate locks, probably, unfortunately. So, like K-Fallic said, I guess that's big news for Minnesota if all those guys get ruled out. I mean, I don't think they all get ruled out, but you never know. They might all get ruled out.
Last game when Naz Reid and Jared Vanderbilt were out, they played an 8-man rotation, and it was very tight. And they had Okogie came in for 2-3 minutes, and Nathan Knight played 5 minutes behind Cat. If all these guys are out, now you're adding Jaden McDaniels into that list because he's already out. You're down to what would be a 7-man rotation and giving a few minutes to Nathan Knight and to Josh Okogie. I could see Okogie getting a few more minutes, but that's your value. And
he sucks too.
No, I'm talking about Taurean Prince, and I'm talking about.
Oh no, I was talking about Okogie.
Yeah, no, Okogie's bad, but Taurean Prince and those guys are your value pieces that you're wanting. Unfortunately, that's where the value lands.
I mean, what about OKC? What about OKC?
Well, again, if SGA is out, then all the value opens up there too. Maladon and all those guys become elite value plays as well against San Antonio, as we said before. And I think you can hammer that game, and Lindy Waters is going to pop, and Aaron Wiggins is going to pop, and Trey Mann's going to pop. All these guys are going to pop once if SGA is ruled out. And that's what I'm like. But if SGA is in, I love SGA, and I love DeJounte Murray as a run back against this defense also. Yeah. That's the thing. And I'd rather wait for news and hope people play these studs up front and depend on these teams, Minnesota, Lakers. I think that LeBron's a very good play tonight. Obviously, we have the situation in Utah where Donovan Mitchell's a good play. We have Toronto that we're still waiting on that could end up being massive as well, with 3 of their guys. 2 of their starters are questionable, 1 doubtful. All this news just piles up, and it's all later except for Joel Embiid.
Yeah, I mean, the Toronto news is kind of big too, right? Because you said, if Fred VanVleet and Gary Trent are out, who's jacking up shots for that? I mean, those 2 guys, their role is to literally jack up shots. Because Scotty Barnes isn't that player. OG's out, or he's doubtful, so he's probably not going to play already. Siakam's not a jack 'em up type guy. He likes to attack them one-on-one and get to the hole or get a mid-range bunny, but he's not wanting to shoot a bunch of, threes, off the dribble or whatever. So that's not his game. And so then you come down to Boucher, Precious. I mean, they can shoot threes, but they can't create off the dribble. So that's where it gets tricky with that team and who they end up playing. They signed, Brooks back to a 10-day contract again. So I wouldn't be shocked if he got some run. That's where that team's at, but we're not going to get that news, probably not now anyway. So if you're building that team out, I would backload with these 8:30, 9, 10, and 10:30 games and just hold on to that lineup. So right now I got 5 lineups tonight, and if I backload, I'm going to backload 8:30 and beyond for that news specifically. And that way, if the news breaks the way I want it and we get it in time, I'm going to build out a stack of that game. If it doesn't break the way I want it, I still have a couple other games that I can attack, even though I don't want to stack Chicago, Utah. But if I have to, if I get stuck there, I will. Or Milwaukee, Sacramento. I don't want to stack that game, but if I have to, I will. You know what I mean? Like, that's where I'm at with this slate. I think the best games are like OKC, San Antonio. I think Phoenix, Utah, Phoenix, Houston is kind of interesting. Phoenix has been really, really good. And the question is, they've been blowing teams out. Can they blow out a third team in a row? They've blown out the last 2 teams. Can they do it 3 times in a row? Maybe they can. They're really, really good. But if that game stays close, DeAndre Ayton and Devin Booker are going to crush. So it's just, again, you're building out teams. You're hoping for the correct outcome. It's not always going to go in your favor, but I think those 2 games are really good for tournaments. I already said the Denver game is really good for. I really like Denver. I like Bones. I like Jokic. I'm going to play them a good amount. And then Atlanta, Charlotte. I think those are like the 4 games I'm keying in on as of now.
All right, subscribers, the playbook for the full dozen games has been up for most of the day. Core plays, AP has his core plays up right now. And then the premium chat, Sweet Boy makes a good point. JSU, he says, listen, Bones had a decent amount of friends and family in Philly. He actually had between 500 and 700 family and friends in Philly. And then Washington is not too far away from DC as well. Maybe we buy into the Bones narrative again tonight. Bones just goes bananas for another 20. I doubt it.
You can buy into it, or you can just say we don't have value on this slate and we need some value. I think people are going to use Brooklyn as value too, right, K-Falik? Okay. Like, I think that's going to be another team that people use. Bruce Brown's been getting a decent amount of run. He's a mid-tier price. You got Patty Mills at 3-4. You got Dragic, who disappointed a lot of people. He's still cheap. So there's going to be some plays from that game. Question is who? I mean, what are you doing with Brooklyn? Because I still got dudes, K-Falik, right? Like, they still got dudes.
The issue is it's a pace down situation as well. My answer would be Kevin Durant and just move on. Like, I just don't like. Patty Mills is a no. I think he's going to end up splitting minutes with Cam Thomas now that Cam Thomas is back tonight. Like, Dragic, I guess, would be the guy, but like, he doesn't. Tony said it yesterday. His output is very weak. Like, he doesn't do anything when he's on the court. He's a good team player on this team, but he is not handling much. So the answer would be a Bruce Brown is your mid-tier guy. Like, you could throw something at James Johnson, obviously, if you think that he can stay out of foul trouble and get the run. I think he could be a fine play. Drummond can crush Dallas guys, so I don't know.
All right. You take care of the house and home. I know that you don't want to hear about likes, so I'll do that right now. 300 likes just to spite K-Falik. He doesn't want to talk about it. Likes. 300 likes just to spite him, okay? Let's just keep talking about it the whole show. Let's actually not do that. Free show. There's our usual up to lock time. It's behind the paywall usually, but everybody's out there partying at Casa de Tondog. So instead of that, we're going to do a free show. We are doing a free show for you today. So that's one thing. This is how the premium show goes, the up to lock. We'll get you the breaking news. We get these guys' thoughts. They debate some teams, some players. They usually disagree on something. We get you the core plays. I'm not going to read off the core plays today just because that is something that subscribers do pay for, and it is a very, very integral part of what we do here at Run Pure Sports. So that's the first thing. The second thing to get into would be, we got to do the talking points, okay? First of all, we do have March Madness DFS. We're going to be doing our DFS show. Me, Tony, Stevie Boynton, a really good college hoops guy. We're all going to be doing the college show Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 straight days starting at 10 a.m. Eastern time, 10 a.m. Eastern time. If you haven't already signed up for Run Pure Sports, go ahead and do so. Players 33, get you 33% off your first payment. So you get all these guys' cores, you get tons of sports. Baseball is coming up. We got NBA, MMA, golf, tennis. I'm not even kidding you. Tennis has been profitable. Any of the video game stuff. K-Falik, JSU, I'm too old. I don't know what, I think there's an LOL in there. You know, whatever.
So
I
one of
call
our
them video
subscribers,
Yeah.
one of our subscribers won 10K in LOL yesterday.
LOL. Okay.
I won 2,500 in tennis. I haven't played tennis in a while, and I just
Embiid's
decided
playing. Embiid is playing. Breaking news. All right. You won money playing LOL and tennis.
Listen
No,
to
I did
K-Falik
not.
flexing. Let him know, K-Falik. Let
I
him
won in
know.
tennis because of Run Pure. But
Susie.
someone won in Mike B won 10K in LOL this morning. I guess it would be.
Yeah.
They play at like 3 o'clock in the morning, so he won this morning. So yeah, it's everything in one place. We got to find an F1. I've already tried to. JSU draft sheet's going to be in Casa de Niehaus, and we know who the F1.
I think he's here right now.
We know who the F1 guy is over in the other world. So I think we need to create a competition to make sure that draft sheet's able to be better than him in everything.
Oh, I hope so. He better be.
Hey,
I mean,
Felix,
that can't be that
I'm
hard.
trying to talk basketball on this show, and you keep derailing it with DC bullshit.
Sorry.
I mean, can we please get it together, K-Falik?
It's not
My
bullshit.
goodness.
It's true. I hope he's better than the other guy.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
All right. Anyways,
Anyways
Embiid
is right.
You said.
Let's get back to, thank you very much, K-Falik. And I would like to remind everybody too that Hoop was saying something about a big prize. Something's going on once we hit 10,000 YouTube subscribers. So there's that little box with the sideways triangle. It's the bottom right side of the screen. Why don't you subscribe? Get us to the number. We'll have a big party. It'll be wonderful. And what that's going to do is let you know anytime that we're on with our free shows. So you might as well do it. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel. K-Falik, all you've done since coming on is just disagree with JSU. So can I get your quick overall thoughts on the slate, right? Favorite plays on the slate is really what I'm looking for. And our subscribers, it's time for you to start throwing some questions in the chat. So do it right now, and we'll get to it right after K-Falik's done.
Yeah, so I think I like this Toronto Clippers game a lot more than most people will. The Clippers have really kind of focused in on 3 guys when they're at full strength. Ivica Zubac has been very good lately. Marcus Morris is still 5.6K playing 40 minutes as long as he doesn't get ejected from a basketball game. I'm sorry, JSU. That was very hurtful for all of us. So Marcus Morris, 5.6K playing 35 to 40 minutes. Definitely in play. Obviously, Robert Covington being back could hurt his minutes a little bit, but I still think that he's very in play. And then on Toronto's side, we're news dependent, but even if the news doesn't go our way, you still have guys like Fred VanVleet who are 8K. You have Scotty Barnes who's in play. You have Gary Trent who's in play. Sacramento has been an interesting place to go recently for DFS, even with Sabonis coming back. De'Aaron Fox still played 42 minutes and put up 25 shots. I think that could be an amazing game script that's going to go low owned, Milwaukee versus Sacramento. And you can depend on some really potential healthy news that could help out with getting those studs in from that game. I already talked about OKC versus the Spurs. Both teams aren't playing defense right now. The Spurs can have DeJounte Murray going to the rim all day. Keldon Johnson has looked really nice post-trade as well. He put up 21 shots last game, 13 for 21, playing 37 minutes. I think he's a great play at 6.4K. Same thing with Jakob Poeltl is in play against these scrubby bigs that OKC is playing through. A lot of those guys, and then the OKC guys are in play coming back. SGA, if SGA is in, SGA is a good play against the lackluster defense as well. And any of these OKC guys will become very good plays if SGA is out, as we know. Poku, Trey Mann, Aaron Wiggins, Theo, all these guys become really good plays. I'm not very interested in the Phoenix-Houston game. I just don't. I think the Phoenix guys are priced up. Devin Booker could be a play, and as JSU said, DeAndre Ayton as well, but I don't have much interest in it. But Minnesota Lakers, if the news goes the right way, the Minnesota guys are absolutely incredible plays tonight.
Hey,
You mean
JSU.
Eric Gordon being out didn't do it for you?
No, it didn't do it for me.
No, not Jay Crowder being out either.
Oh, is Crowder out?
Crowder
Yeah.
just got ruled out. Yeah.
Yep, with an
Zach
illness.
Levine's playing. So we got that. JSU, any FanDuel specific plays because of pricing or?
There he is. There he is. Look at who joined us. Get in here.
Who is it?
There he is. Look at this guy.
Hey,
Uncle
The
T.
better
there.
looking knee house joined us on the show.
I can't show my fat gut. What's up, K Fallon?
I actually
I
like
thought you
that.
were coming down here to be with me. Jeez, Terry, come on.
You look
Trying
so,
to-
he looks JSU looks so much better in this seat than Big T does.
See, he's too good to me here. They're too good to me here.
We can't see
Love
him.
the knee
Uncle T.
houses.
Holden, how you doing, buddy?
All right, buddy. Good to see you and your mustache. I like
Look at
that
him trying to
shirt.
push you out the door
I
right
think
now.
he's
That's
all right.
hurtful.
Get
K
the fuck
Fallon,
out
good
of
to see
here.
you, my friend.
That's
You
some
too, buddy.
bullshit, Holden.
What?
That's
Holden
you
loves
tried to.
Uncle T.
You just pushed Holden. You just pushed him out the
The
door.
last time I did that, the guy ended up going ballistic on me. Hopefully, Uncle T can handle it a little better than him. So listen, FanDuel specific plays. We're kind of on the clock here, buddy. We've got 23 minutes to lock. I love Uncle T. But any FanDuel specific plays, whether it be pricing or something that just stands out to you over there.
Well, just kind of scrolling through. I mean, I do think that you got people knocking on this door constantly here. What are we doing? Get in here. You can get in here.
Building lineups, building some winners.
Yeah, building some winners.
What's going on, man?
What's up, DC?
Good to see you.
DC coming in
There's
here
your boy,
now.
K-Fallic.
There's
live
our
right
F1
now.
major.
Look at
Hey,
this.
Look,
DC
he
in
isn't
the
fat.
flesh.
He's like svelte. He's svelte.
Yeah.
He's running.
He's running. He's a runner,
He
but he
looks
won't come
good.
down and hang out with me. He has to be taller than me and
Yeah, we
stand
switched
over.
I got
Fine.
a
that.
big basketball game preparing for you for.
Oh, we're gonna live show that. If you guys make sure you guys tune in Twitter, we'll make sure we have a live link. Uncle T's gonna be play by play. I'll be the other guy just sitting there saying nonsense as he play by plays. So make sure you check that out. DC Uncle Dunkle.
Well, let me leave the master to his craft.
All right,
Yeah.
here we go.
So
All right.
I'll give some FanDuel plays
Thank
real
you,
quick.
K-Fallic.
So one is Spencer Dinwiddie. He's 5.5K starting for Dallas. I think he would be a play that you can look at. And Jaylen Brown at 6.8K on FanDuel. Not a game that we really want to attack, but that's a cheap price tag for a Jaylen Brown. The other guys, like, you always have to look at Russell Westbrook, as ridiculous as it sounds, at 7.2K. He's probably a little trappy. Rudy Gay is 3.5K min price on FanDuel as well. Just allows you to play so much when you play a guy like that. Looking at Minnesota real quick. Again, all news dependent, but like Jalen Noel at 3.3K could be going off at, or not 3.3K, sorry, 4K could go off at that price tag.
K Fallic, how about the OKC guys? If SGA is out,
of course,
these
yeah.
OKC price tags are where you're going to get all your value from, especially on FanDuel. You got Sar at min price. You got a bunch of guys,
Yep.
Baisley, Trey Mann. I think if you're looking for cheaper guys, I think that's where you're going to find your value. Even if SGA plays, I still think some of those guys aren't out of play on FanDuel. They might not be as good of plays though, but they're not out of play technically. I still think that this Charlotte game is going to be really interesting. Miles Bridges at 7.8. You got Terry Rozier at 8.1 on FanDuel. They're not like price specific plays, but I'm just saying like they're going to be lower owned still, and I think they're really good plays. Trey Young's 9.9, and he's under a bunch of really good studs on this slate. Maybe he gets a little under-owned. Who knows? So I think on FanDuel, you're still trying to attack some of these really good games. And these early games might be the nuts if you just go in on them and say, I'm going to stack up two of these games. Everyone else waits on news. Maybe the news doesn't go anyone's way. It's a lot of games. So the probability is not on your side, but maybe it doesn't go your way. And you have a shipper, a low-owned shipper too, may I add, because I don't think people are going to Big T 777 it and play all these early 7 o'clock games. And that could be a path to victory here, a low-owned path to victory too.
All right, let's get some questions from the subscribers. Again, hit the like button if you haven't done that already. Make K-Fallic happy. K-Fallic, Coach Jay wants to know if DiVincenzo is a good play.
I don't think he is as good of a play as last game, whenever it was, with Justin Holiday back. I think that will impact his minutes. He did look good finally in those minutes, but I could see him playing. He could play anywhere from 16 to 32 minutes. So I think it's a gutsy move with this Justin Holiday being in news. So I'm hoping I don't have to go there, but I think he is in play. If you need the 4.5K type of play that's guard and small forward eligible.
2 questions for JSU. Swint wants to know if Siege is there, first of all.
No.
Okay. Second question would be, give a little bit more thoughts on Utah, please.
Yeah, I mean, Utah, I'm not a Rudy Gobert guy. I never really play him. I do think if you did want to play him tonight, I don't mind him. I don't mind him against like traditional bigs. That's where I don't mind him. And especially when I don't got to pay like 8K for him. When he's 8K or higher, I can't do it because he's a solid like floor guy, but he doesn't hit his ceiling very often, in my opinion. Like he just doesn't always give you the tournament upside. But against Chicago, it is a good matchup. Again, it's against a traditional big, so I like it a little more from any 7.5. So you get a little bit of a price discount from where he usually is. I prefer Ayton in that price range, but I think he's in play. Jordan Clarkson, I think, is in play because of those guys that are out. I think he's another guy for tournaments you could look at. Definitely has tournament upside. Maybe a lower floor, so not maybe not as good of a cash play, but for upside in tournaments, I think he's in play as well. Not on the Chicago guys at all. That's just where I'm at. K Falk, who do you think starts for Phoenix for Crowder?
I was trying to figure out right now.
That's what I want to get into.
Is it Shamet or is it Craig?
It could be.
It's got to be one of those
one.
two, right?
So who came in directly for Crowder in the third quarter was Torrey Craig.
Yes.
He played the last 16 minutes of that game.
Yeah.
So I think you have to consider him. Looks like the game did obviously blow out, so I don't know if that impacted the minutes because
he was playing at the end, K-Falik.
So Devin Booker didn't even play the fourth quarter. So the last 5 on the court were Torrey Craig, Bismack Biyombo, Ish Wainwright, Aaron Holiday, and Elf. But before that, it was obviously a mixture of, but at the moment that he got hurt was Devin Booker, Aaron Holiday, JaVale McGee, Landry Shamet, Mikal Bridges, and Torrey Craig, if I didn't say him. But Torrey Craig seemed like the direct beneficiary of that injury or whatever, or him getting out and then blowing out. So I think you can consider, like, I prefer Torrey Craig over Rudy Gay. Let me be very, I think if you're looking for a 3.1K, Torrey Craig is power forward and center eligible. I prefer Torrey Craig over Rudy Gay if you went straight up for me. I was saying to people in the chat before, Rudy Gay is going to be the chalk. I don't think he's bad chalk. Don't get me wrong. But he's had this opportunity a lot so far. He's putting up, he had played 22 minutes last game and he put up 4 shots. He had 5 rebounds and 1 assist. He had a usage of 12. He's not getting the ball for this Utah team. They're not running the game through him that much. So give me Torrey Craig over him if Torrey Craig starts for sure.
Okay. Live show chat. We'll get to you guys. Anyone the boys consider a lock tonight? Good question, Emma Larrick. Who you locking in, JSU? Give us one guy.
I mean, I personally don't lock in guys unless I think they're elite value plays. That's just my opinion, or unless I'm making one lineup. So I can't tell you I'm locking someone that I'm not actually going to lock and play in every single lineup because I don't see one of those guys, especially on a larger slate where I have 5 teams. Because I had the 5 tickets in the 888, so I got 5 teams in there, and I'm just not going to lock someone. I think the best spend is Jokic, so he'll be the spend I have the most exposure to, or I'm going to try and get the most exposure to. And I think right now, if I need to give a value play, I mean, Precious Achiuwa, Bones Highland, I think are good value plays. I for tournaments, may I add, because Precious, becomes a really, really good play if some guys are out. He might still be, he's still a solid play though. If I got stuck with Precious, I'm not angry, right? K Fallic, on this slate, if you get stuck there and those guys are in, you're not like mad. You're all right. He's 3,900 or whatever. You'll just take, whatever he's getting. But like, if those guys are out, he's an elite value play at that price tag. It's just, can they keep it close? If they keep it close, he's going to crush. So I personally think that's where I'm at right now. I also see another guy, Kyle Kuzma on FanDuel. I'm not going to play him on DraftKings, but on FanDuel, he's 7-4. And if you're stacking the Jokic game and you want a run back, Kyle Kuzma would be my run back.
Kuzma has just lost it since Porzingis has been back.
I know, but
concern.
he's cheap. Like,
no,
he's
I get
cheap
it.
for his upside.
I get
I know what you're saying though.
I agree on Bones Highland. I think he's an interesting play. Two other guys I'll give you. I just gave you Torrey Craig. I'll say him again. I think Torrey Craig is going to be in the picture for guys that I'll be very heavy on. And another guy is Royce O'Neal for me. Royce O'Neal at 4.2K on DraftKings, 4.6 on FanDuel. But he seems to benefit more, in my opinion, than Rudy Gay. 13 shots last game. He was all over the boards. He was all over these he had his usage went up from 9 and 10 to 17, which may not feel that big of a deal, but when you're a guy who plays 35 to 38 minutes every game, count me in for 4.2K going against an undersized Bulls team.
All right. Cavs are going Garland, Okoro, Stevens, Market, and Mobley. Nothing too big there. The core, if you were using AP's core tonight, he just made a couple of edits. So when you go to the core pages, you'll see in yellow where AP tweaked the core just a little bit. Glock's FanDuel core is up. Title's getting his main core up on FanDuel as well. So
is Tony putting a core in today, JSU?
No, you slide in there.
Okay.
You throwing a core up? K Fallic, huh?
Only DraftKings, but
okay. Don't forget, if you're watching this right now, because you got to be watching, hit the like button. I mean, we've got 500 watching, 215 on the likes. Give me a break. Come on, get that up. And then in the bottom right-hand corner is that subscribe button. It's a red little square with a sideways triangle. Hit that. Make sure you subscribe because you get all our videos. You get notifications for all our videos, and then you don't miss any of our wonderful content that we have going on here. Thoughts on McGee? Either one of you got any thoughts on McGee? Pinto got Flo wants to know.
Just a guy that I don't think has the upside that I'd want. I understand why you're considering him, but I'd hope for better value to arrive with.
See, I think if that
minutes.
game goes right, he's a good value play right now in tournaments with what we have.
What does go right mean?
If the game goes right and he gets that extra run in the fourth like he got last game, the game goes right for him. If he gets that run against Houston, he will crush that price tag.
Gallinari.
That's what goes right mean.
Kate Fallic, you're silent. What's
no, I'm just looking. I was looking at what he did in the fourth quarter. He went nuts in the fourth quarter. But I don't think. I don't see the game staying close. And if it stays close, if it doesn't stay close, Biyombo is going to get the fourth quarter run if they're up by 25 or 30 points. He took it to the next level before it blew out is what happened. So he created the blowout. So.
DFS dad, thoughts on Booker? Or do you just think it blows out?
If you think the game stays close, I think he's a good play, and if you don't, he could be the reason it blows out. But you're taking a chance there for sure. Like the problem is I don't see any Rockets that I want to run it back with, and I don't know if JSU does, but I don't see any Rockets at all.
That's definitely the tough part of that game. Is like, do you run it back, and if so, who do you run it back with? Because you're right, I don't think there's any clear-cut guy that I'm like, yeah, he's a great run back. Like I don't really love attacking like the guards and wings against Phoenix, even though they are down some defenders, but still, I don't love that. And then, yeah, it's not a game where I don't think you need to run it back is the point though. If they keep it close, that's great. I wouldn't be loading up though. Like if you have 3 Phoenix guys, like at least one needs to be a value. And if you play Booker and Ayton, you know, instead of guessing the right Houston guy, because it's just so hard to do, just play those guys, hope the game stays close, and you're going to have low-owned guys just right there anyways, because I don't think Devin Booker is going to be that highly owned. I don't know if DeAndre Ayton is going to be highly owned. I think a lot of people are looking at that game saying, blowout. I'm not playing it. So you're going to get low ownership just with your guys there. So you don't need to get cute with Houston guys.
We got a lot of Knicks questions here, and we got one in the premium chat too. JSU, thoughts on the Knicks real quick?
I don't like the Knicks. The only guy I kind of like, if I had to pick one, would be Quickly. Quickly's been getting a lot of run. I think it's a better matchup. I think this is a game where Quickly could have a good game, and he's still reasonably priced with upside, but I'm not going to just play one just to play one. And that's one of the games that I don't really want to attack anyway. So I'm going to be off that game.
JSU, is Dwight Howard out again?
I saw available.
Yes, available.
I saw available. Did you see out?
No, I got him.
No.
I got the same thing as you. He's
Okay.
available to play.
I believe you.
Yeah. JSU's FanDuel core is up. K Fallick just did a big T there on the 7 o'clock games in the core. I love it. I absolutely love it. Hey, K Fallick, Kuya's got a question for you. Does he go Edwards or Payne?
Ugh.
Ugh. Jeez.
Edwards.
Yeah. Okay. Aaron Gordon is playing. He is cheap on FanDuel, 4.8 on FanDuel. Skodux wants to know if you'd play him. Aaron Gordon.
I wouldn't personally. I don't want to. I'm only going to play Bones and Jokic from the Denver side. That's where
Dragic or Bones?
Bones for me.
Bones is your guy there. Luka or DeJounte from Connor?
It's Luka right now, but I think they're both really good plays. Like so here's how I would do it. If you're stacking OKC guys, I'd play DeJounte. If you're not, I'd play Luka.
Okay.
Ooh, they're the same price on FanDuel.
Yep.
$100 difference.
Mem Malara, can we attack Nets bigs with Maxey or Powell?
How do you feel about Maxey, JSU? You love him right now. You should.
No Maxey for me.
So Powell it is. Where does Okongwu rank among the cheap centers, guys? Bigs versus Charlotte, usually a great spot. That's from NY Yankee fan.
I just don't want to. I don't want to force myself to play a guy like him. I understand the reason, but limited minutes in my opinion, equals limited potential production. And that's why I struggle with guys like JaVale McGee and Okongwu. Hell, even like Kevin Love is a guy I struggle with usually because I don't feel confident in his minutes. So,
okay. No confidence. Then we're going to pass on that. Favorite guard on DK in the 7-7 range, boys. Favorite guard on DK in the 7-7 range.
7-7. I mean, Terry Rozier's right above. I guess D-Russ. I don't really like that range, but D-Russ for me.
D-Russ?
Yep.
Okay. We'll take a couple of free show questions too, or free chat questions too. Thoughts on Bruce Brown and Drummond on DK from Peyton Kahn?
perfectly fine with them.
Both of them?
Yeah.
Edwards or Jaylen Brown?
Edwards.
Chia says that RJ Barrett's going off today, and I would think that
I looked at him for a minute. I think he's an interesting play if you think the Portland game stays close. You don't have to run it back with anybody because all these Portland guys are expensive, and RJ Barrett, who's going to really stop him? I guess Josh Hart, but he's still going to go for 20, 25 shots and maybe crash the boards a few times, and he's there.
What do you think about Porzingis, K. Fallick? That's from B. Mosley.
No, just not doing it.
You're just not doing it.
I'm just not messing with Washington right now. I don't trust them.
I mean, there's a Jokic or Embiid question in here. I mean, we on the premium side, we're usually like pick that. That's a selection you could do on your own, but still, Jokic or Embiid just for tonight since it's a free show. Jokic every night.
Yeah, it's Jokic.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, like button would be great. Guys and ladies, subscribe button, bottom right-hand corner. It's a red button with a sideways triangle. Hit that too. You'll get all of the notifications anytime we're on the air, including tomorrow, Thursday through Sunday, our College Hoops DFS show. JSU, any thoughts on running a Wizards back with your Bones and
Kyle Kuzma? I keep saying it, but Kyle Kuzma.
Kuzma's your guy. You love the Kuzma. How about you, Falak? What do you think of Kuzma?
Yeah, I get the play on FanDuel especially. Yeah, I get the play.
You get the play. You don't love the play, but you get the play.
Mm-hmm.
Trey Young or Durant? DFS dad? How are you playing Young over Durant? Okay, Falak, explain it to me. No, I'm not questioning
sure.
it. I'm just asking you a question.
No, I'm not sure. I don't. It's price, I guess, and position, but I don't know how you'd play Trey Young over Durant personally. Like in a vacuum. Like obviously Trey Young could go off in this high total, and that's the answer. But I would rather play Durant without Kyrie and any other offensive player on that team.
Okay. Any love for Conley from Donna in the chat?
He's benefited a little bit from Bojan being out. What did he do last game?
We got JSU's cores.
My core's up, and people better get it in quick. Sorry, guys. It's a lot early, guys. So get in there and get it.
He's had a big minutes bump. He's gone to 32 plus minutes in the last couple games. I do think Conley is definitely an interesting play at lower ownership. Like they're going to have to go to these guys. They don't have a choice. Jordan Clarkson's going to play the 3. Like it's going to be that way right now they're missing all of their like mid-sized guys.
Okay. All right. We got all our questions. Premium chat guys, if you want to get your questions in here for lock, we only got about a minute. So before any final thoughts here, K-Foul, because you're fading these early games, final thoughts on the slate and maybe a little tip or two on how to build if they're following your guidance here.
Yeah. Always put the guys at guard, forward, and utility that are the latest games, leave those spots open. I'm right now looking through the what's it called? The DK site, looking for overlay on all these qualifiers. There's some solid overlay in some of these, so take your chances on them. It's always worth it. If it hits, you're in good shape moving forward. Golf millie makers are being posted for the Masters and stuff like that. But always put the guys that are later in your lineup so you can always move to what you want. And just keep an eye on the news. I'm going to be keeping an eye on the news all night. Should be a fun slate.
Premium subscribers, make sure you get into the NBA Discord. You guys know this if you're premium subscribers. Make sure you get into Discord because they'll be answering your questions all night. We have coordinators in the Discord going back and forth, answering your questions throughout the slate. Just because the first set of games are done doesn't mean that they're not going to do it. Right up to the lock of the final game or time slot, they're going to be in there answering your questions. JSU, we just locked. Real quick, Sar and Scotty Barnes are Ayton and O'Neal on DK. Does it matter anymore?
Sar and Scotty. If Sar's in the starting lineup, and this is where news helps. Like, if Sar's in the starting lineup, if Scotty is point Scotty and one of those two guards are out, I think I lean that side. If not, though, I like the Ayton side. So, yeah. It's just, it depends on where the news. I like both sides, though, honestly.
All right. K. Falak, wonderful work. Great to see you, my friend. We're going to wrap this thing up, but Shomer Shabbos or whatever you say.
I want to see ownership, but have a good one, guys.
You too, pal. Take care of yourself.
Good luck, everybody.
One more time, hit the like button on the way out. Players 33 get you 33% off your first payment with a subscription to Run Pure Sports. SaberSim package is a part of that. SaberSim, ridiculously good optimizer. You can plug our guys' cores into that, come up in your 150s. Hornets are going Ball, Rozier, Bridges, Washington, Plumlee. I mean, that's just
hold them before we get out of here too.
Yeah.
One other thing, someone asked about the Houston side.
Okay.
If I had to play a Houston guy, it would be Jalen Green, just because I think he's still got upside. I think Eric Gordon being out does help him a little bit. So just again, it's not someone I'm going to play a ton of, but I may run if I play both studs in a lineup. I may run a Jalen Green lineup if I play both studs in a lineup. But again, you don't have to. It is getting a little cute.
A little too cute, huh?
A little
too cute.
But,
Again,
right.
Players 33% off your first payment with a subscription to Run Pure Sports. You haven't checked out the bet side, check it out. We're already doing it again. We crushing March Madness on the bet side. Did it again. JJ was rolling last night. I had a 2-in-1 night. Stevie Boynton had a nice night as well. So if you're into betting March Madness, head on over to the bet side. Get bets, 25% off for that. And then the other thing is we're doing college shows Thursday through Sunday starting at 10 a.m. JSU, I would love for you to have a wonderful night at Casa de Tony. Everybody's showing up. You take care of yourself, pal. Let's get out of here. Go ship another one. And by the way, if you don't know JSU, one of the best, you know what? Tony says he's the best GPP player in the world. He's definitely one of the top 7. Okay. And he's on a heater right now. Yeah. You're definitely top 7. There's no question about it.
I'll take
at least
7.
in my book. At least in my book. All right, let's get out of here.
As long as Tony's 6, I'll take 7.
Yeah, he's 13th or 17th, he said. Simon, get us out of here.